Showtime, folks. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back here at Big O Bell Media for our finale recap review show of season 2, a power book for force, power, powder, respect. This is directed by Dion, Tayler, written by Lennon and Amelia, Swedeen. As always, your usual hosts here, Lucas and I, ready to break down this explosive finale of this season. We are live, folks. It's a little different here. A little different. The temperature feeling a little different here. Now that we're here live with you all. Unlike the other 9 episodes this season where we did have our pre-recorded recap review available for you all after the episode air. But yeah, we still got y'all Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show. And I have a ton of announcements. Before I even get into them, Del, Lucas, how you doing, my friend? Welcome to the dark side.
Listen, I ain't been asleep since Wednesday night. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Wednesday night was the last time I went to sleep. And I got this little beverage that's supposed to give me lots and lots of caffeine, and the moment it kicks in, we gonna go. I'm gonna be ready to go.
Hey, they already going crazy with your new cut in the chat. I ain't gonna even get it in. Let me make some announcements real quick, and then we're going to get into tonight's episode. First of all, I gotta get this off my chest, folks. Leaks are weak. That's my new saying. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. I hate anybody who condone leaks. And I'm talking about folks leaking the episodes, people that is spoiling the experience for folks. I ain't pointing at nobody in particular, but there are definitely channels operating that is just...
This happened again? What did I miss? Man.
I just, yeah.
I mean, at least we were honest and upfront about it. We told y'all that, when we got episode 9 and 10, that we were not gonna watch it.
No. Yep. It ain't even the same. It ain't even the same. So that's why I gotta flex just a little bit here. Cause like there's obviously folks that are credential press members that are able to see the season episodes to prepare for particular promotional opportunities. And then there's folks that's just blatantly spoiling it. I just don't think it's cool. I think it ruins the show. We just had a strike. And for the fact that the actors couldn't get out there and promote it themselves, it's detrimental to the show's success when people leak episodes, ruin it for the sake of their content. So yeah, I definitely stumbled across like 2 channels, not just like, this is just trash. This is just trash. And some of you all were in those comments too. So y'all probably know who I'm talking about, because I definitely seen y'all down there and I'm like, I ain't gonna call y'all out, but like, let's just keep it 100, man.
Because I missed all of this, so we definitely gonna have a conversation on what
it's not cool. It's not cool. But listen, because I said I'm a flex, so I'm really gonna flex tonight. We got 2 interviews on the channel right now. Y'all already see who it is. One being the director of tonight's episode, Dion, Tayler. So definitely go and check out that episode, interview right now. And then the showrunner of Power Book 4 for season 2, Gary Lennon. That interview is also available right now on the channel. Got to talk to him in advance, so I held the interview for about a week because I didn't want to ruin the episode for you all. So there's that. And then I said I was going to flex. Right? The strike is over. So that means we back to work tomorrow, folks. Mr. Joseph Sikora himself, Tommy Egan, an interview is going to be on the channel. If y'all got questions for my man Tommy, y'all let us know in the chat right now. Best questions will be asked, will be on the interview. So just letting y'all know, we operating a little different over here. Oh, wait, I said I was going to flex, right? I'm not done, right? Do I just keep going? Lucas? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, my little charged up lemonade is kicking in, so I would say yes.
Juice yourself up, my brother. Raising Canaan returns. We back to work. you know, like it was before the strike. Things are
Man, it's
coming.
about time.
Exclusive things are coming. Exclusive opportunities, spaces, shall I say. So you might want to be boys because we got some things coming through. But thank God the strike is over. And not just for our benefit, because we love the show and we love to promote and do what we do, but for the actors who held out strong, getting their rights that they deserve, getting a good deal done. They're very excited. They're already back at it. So it's time for us to be back at it as well, too. So as I mentioned, Mr. Joseph Sikora, Tommy Egan himself on the channel tomorrow. If you got questions, let us know. And best questions will be asked to my guy, who I quote is very excited to talk about this season. So with that being said, I can breathe. Got it off my chest. Are you ready to get into today's episode?
Sure. Let's go. Let's get into this. I'm seeing some of these comments. Y'all not liking the ending. That is interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I understand that cliffhangers never go well over with lots of people.
Yeah.
But if anyone amazingly says, I didn't like the ending, but I doubt they'll get a season 3, I don't think that's an issue for Power.
Yeah.
Just know there will be a season 3 of this.
1,000%. And keep an eye out for my interview with Gary. As I mentioned, I've had questions about the ending. I didn't have an issue with the ending. I had questions about it. And I think he delivered a brilliant answer as a showrunner would. And Lucas definitely just tapped into that a little bit. So, you know, hear it from the man himself in terms of why the ending was the way it was. And if y'all been watching Power for a long time, y'all already know truly the finale is always episode 9. Episode 10 is just the alley-oop getting you ready for the season after that. So here we are. Let's start at the top of this episode, folks. Yes, I know a ton of things happen in this episode, some really big moments. We obviously going to be covering the big moments in its entirety on our Sunday show. But tonight, as we usually do, we start at the top of the episode, getting through all of the events until we get to the end. So we start off with Tommy and Diamond, where Diamond had to get it off his chest. I told you it was Vic. And Tommy says, I'm going to handle it. And he said, man, you just couldn't even keep your eyes off my brother for 2 seconds. And Diamond's very adamant about, like, one, you know, Tommy's posture about all of this, but making it very clear that, like, you don't understand. Like, I will go to jail for good. Like, and Tommy's like, hey, you know, Vic is he's a dead man walking. But, like, Diamond's like, listen, you handle this. And Tommy's like, we'll take care of the Serbs. And then the Chicago pipeline is ours. We'll become the connect and handle Vic. But Diamond doesn't look so. I throw this to you, Lucas. Diamond seems to be worrying about self here. Tommy is still worrying about the business. I feel like this is just the start of things to come in terms of the two heads of CBI here. What was your thoughts about this opening scene here?
This opening scene showed me the cracks that are in their relationship. It's been covered up a lot this season. If we ever pay attention to it, I brought it up in another episode when Tommy thought Diamond was snitching and he did not hesitate to pull a gun on Diamond. And just their interaction and conversation with one another tells me that the business grew fast. Tommy's ego grew with it. Because Tommy feels I'm the reason that we're here. Diamond feels if it wasn't for my muscle, there's no way in hell you would have done any of this. That just comes across as the biggest conflict between them two, especially since it's a power vacuum at the top. You can't have 2 leaders. It has to be one person is the leader and one person is his second in command. Nothing ever works when there's 2 leaders. They didn't have it with him and Ghost. Ghost was the leader. Tommy was the muscle. Like, it has to be that way. And that's the issue that they're facing here. And this just highlighted it because Diamond wanted to throw all in his face. I told you Vic was this, but you couldn't let up off my brother. But the whole time, what we got to remember, Tommy doesn't know everything that Janard went through because Diamond's not going to tell him that. So while you're saying this, you know good and well it could have been your brother because everything your brother was going through that you hid from Tommy. So this to me just showed the cracks in their relationship up front and how this conflict is going to spread for the course of this episode and how it's going to spread for next season.
Agreed. We got Miss Makiva coming through tonight. Hello, Queen, with this $2 super chat. All these kids dealing with big trauma. Great episode. Totally agree. All of the kids, which means anybody who has a parent, which is basically everybody on the show, everybody's dealing with it. Absolutely a big theme of this season. Totally this episode. We get Maria, who is getting mail about her romantic getaway. For a moment, I was like, wait, who sent this? And like, obviously, I was perplexed because I'm just like, wait a minute. Who the hell out here ordering flight tickets the OG way? What the hell is this? Raising Canaan? It's like, it's in the 90s? Like, what is happening right now? Like, and like, granted, it would be one thing. He's like, all right, well, Tommy's off the grid. He doesn't have credit cards. And da 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 da. So,
where do you even get plane tickets from? That's what I need to know. I ain't seen a look. I can see you getting a boarding pass, but like an actual plane, like, do they still like just who do you give that to?
That
like,
that
I'm
just threw
so
me for a
confused.
loop, bro. It threw me for a loop, and honestly, I thought it was like coming from like honestly, for one moment, I thought like, is this Miguel doing some like
fucking
sneaky? Yeah. But no, it's from Tommy, and Maria's just all googly eyed, talking about her romantic getaway. Her co-workers like, never seen you like this, and Maria gives her speech like, he sees me, I sees him. That's all that matters. I've really fallen for him, and this is the start of Power Book 5 of Disneyland, because clearly Maria's the next cartel Disney princess here. It's literally the cutest thing that's ever been on Power. She's so in love with this guy.
She must well just start singing A Whole New World.
Clearly,
she's spinning around in the
hospital. Hey man, but I'm rooting for love here, man. She's so happy with her plane tickets that literally look like an artifact of some sorts. Because I was just confused as hell that who the hell was doing that.
Like he didn't think of like sending. Can't you send tickets like through a text messages? I know it exists. Like, can I send it to your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet? Like, let me send you these pictures. So she opened up and get the notification, and she's like, "Oh, what is this?" And then there's the tickets instead of someone literally mail. Who the fuck is mailing plane tickets?
Like, and like, if their whole goal was like, we want to make sure it looked like Tommy doesn't have any accounts or anything connected to him, et cetera, like, I know some folks that's like that too, and then they're still rocking with electronic stuff. Like,
that's actually the reason why you don't have a paper trail. It's because what you're doing it is illegal. That's why you don't have. How was Tommy going to Barcelona?
Yeah,
I thought about that. Isn't he a wanted criminal?
Yeah, true that. Toxic Key was up, my guy, with the $5 super chat tonight. Tommy has always had a problem with younger brothers. He treats Janard the same way as he treated Roller. I'm going to take a moment and come back to that comment there. That's some heavy power lore, shall I say? So we'll let that simmer just a little bit real quick. It's a good comment though, nonetheless. Toxic Key making sure that folks know, like, he ingrained in his power universe. He know a little something.
Exactly.
That's a good theme there. I think that's a piece to talk about.
Forgot about Roller. I completely forgot about Roller. Yeah.
No, it's a bomb comment. Appreciate you, my guy. So we get Vic and Tommy, and they're on the top of the rooftop, and this is interesting because this is sort of just the reverse of a statement that was made earlier in the season. As he says, listen, it's a long way down from the top, and the coalition is working. And with the meeting on the top, Diamond comes in like very discreetly. I thought they shot this top of the building scene like fantastically, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I just want to quickly note in terms of the cinematography that typically a scene like this is completely flipped, where we'll just reference to another time. Like if Ghost was having a particular meeting on the rooftop, Ghost is the main figure, the other person is there. Tommy's sort of the one lurking in the back with doubt, or sort of that extra, that divisive piece to whatever's, constructively happened on there. Seeing Diamond kind of come through as the person kind of lurking in the shadows and kind of playing the game and kind of, definitely you look at him, you're like, all right, what is he going to do? Because at this point now, we don't know what Diamond's going to do. Let's not forget that like the sinister Diamond has just been revealed here. I just thought it was really cool how they kind of showed the duality in Tommy's positioning with Vic, which is also telling for the end of the episode as well, too, because Tommy would have been the one ready to pull the trigger and get it over with. We see him trying to like negotiate his ultimate plan by the end of the episode. But I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you 1 second, Lucas. Let me just go over the rest of the stuff. But Diamond comes up and says, almost too good to be true. Very foreshadowing. But as he mentioned, listen, we lost Garfield Park. It's okay. We're not worried about that, right, D? Yeah, we're not worried about that. We're setting up the meeting with the Miguel cartel. And, it's this whole fake, I can trust you. Stay close, wait for my call. And as Vic walk away, it's a dead man walking. So I spoke a little bit about the cinematography, but obviously this is the start of things to come in terms of using Vic later on in this episode. Diamond clearly think this is the end to Vic. Tommy, on the other half, think this is the beginning to using Vic. Different playing field here. What was your thoughts and what was your assessment of this rooftop scene?
Again, they're not on the same page at all through this entire scene. It's like they are both having a conversation with Vic, but two completely different conversations with Vic. And that's the confusion part here with them two, is that, as you said it perfectly, Diamond thinks this is it. Like, this is our last time speaking. And then you gone. Tommy on the hand is like, I see an angle here.
Yeah.
But Tommy's not voicing that to Diamond, and that's the problem here. By the way, the scene was shot. It is shot great, but I ain't gonna tell you. I wanted the Michael Bay moment where, you know how in Michael Bay movies they all argue on the rooftop and then the camera just magically just pans around them all and say, "That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted here." If I got that shot, that
shot don't exist on television. It's a Michael Bay cinematic special. That's the only time you see that. Yeah, and then folks, you don't know what I'm talking about. Every scene in Bad Boy is the exact same thing where they're up on the top. There's a monologue of some sort, and then the joint just zoom off and zoom out of the way. Yeah, the Michael Bay cinematic special, my friend.
That's the ultimate rooftop shot, Joe. It's like you hear them arguing, and all of a sudden everything just flips, and they're like, and you just see them at different angles. Like, that's all I wanted. If I got that shot, I greatest show ever.
Michael Bay went so crazy. He went so crazy. It was like a parody of himself in Ambulance. Like, it's just like, bro, how many times can you really do this shot?
He pulled that shot off 8 times in Ambulance. 8 different times he pulled that shot off. And every time it was great. I said, I left Ambulance thinking this is the best movie I've seen this year. The movie was bad, and I left it thinking, man, like those shots, like you can't. But again, this is necessary just to set up in motion exactly what we're getting from Tommy and Diamond.
Yeah.
Here is the ultimate. This is the ultimate point where we needed to prove that Tommy could trust Diamond and Diamond could trust Tommy.
Yeah.
Because you would have thought they would have been honest with each other, at least as it pertains to Vic.
Yeah.
When both of them know he's a snitch. And yet neither one of them are voicing exactly what they think should happen to him.
Yep.
Because I thought he was going to get thrown off the roof.
Oh, 1,000%. Tommy and rooftops never go well with each other.
Exactly.
Or for the other person, shall I say. Gemini Don, what's going on, my guy? Tuning in tonight to the live show with the $5 super chat. Oh, well, Claudia. Laughing emoji. That's hilarious. I like how you wrote that. D-Mac, ungrateful ass, want to be a gangster. Shanti and Janard next season going to realize how they messed up bad with Tommy. I am going to say I love every part of this. The oh well, Claudia, you're not assuming that she's dead. You're not assuming that she's alive, but oh well, because, well, it had to happen to her. We have to see what happens to her next season. D-Mac, absolutely top tier, ungrateful, immature ass, want to be a gangster so bad. As much as you're talking about Shanti and Janard, well, you might as well just throw D-Mac in that conversation too about how bad he's gonna realize he's messed up with Tommy.
Man, I don't get it with this little ungrateful nigga.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
that whole conversation he was having as he got mad at them. Leave me alone, white lady. He
Yeah.
called his daddy a faggot. Like,
Ooh.
I said, oh my God. Like, he was like, we understand that neither one of them have an established relationship with D-Mac. But the allure of the streets for him, it was so confusing here. Well, in a sense, it's confusing for the audience perspective because we don't understand why he needs to be in the streets. But if we analyze the character a little better, analyze kids who've been in this situation, it's a reason why we hear so many rap songs about the streets is calling me or addicted to the game. Like, you ain't gotta be in it to be addicted to it. He's addicted to what comes along with it. He deems being in the streets as being respected. Those are two completely different things, but he's so shallow-minded that he can't see that there's a difference between the two.
There's a lot to really make with this. First of all, Lucian, fantastic job in this episode. And thank you, Lucian, and this scene with D-Mac for actually making me care about this character for sure now. And also JP, I also care about his response to being called this very hateful slur. That what does that mean for him? He's hearing something that if any normal person said, it could potentially break him down. Hearing it from his son, that the person that he's been trying to get in there, what does that mean? So it's a powerful scene, and it definitely sends the trajectory of these two characters into interest zone for me. So I'm super excited to kind of see how that plays out. But 1,000%. And I will say, we always got to remember, because Lucian is kind of tall, but he is portraying a younger kid. The immaturity is screaming at 1,000 right now. But the point that you made is that you're right. The point that you just made, I just watched the Jeezy and Nia Long interview, and Jeezy was talking about how he went to the streets because he was trying to get acceptance from his mom. He was trying to prove that he belonged and he deserved, and he belonged, and he wanted to prove from her. Although he didn't agree with his mom, he figured this was his way to establish that he was doing something. It would be beyond crazy if they go this route with Lucian. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to probably take a look at how they want to write this character now.
I would assume that's the reason he's in the streets. Is to
I just never heard it. I never heard it presented that way. That's why I'm kind of like, wow, that's not a take I've heard like that before, you know?
From someone who understands
911.
What I was about to say. Understands that life. It's people only hear the reason for being in the streets of you needing to be in the streets, or the reverse of that is always you're a kid who doesn't need to be in the streets, but you think it's going to make you tough, and they leave out the other elements of why people get into street life. Like some of them, it could be to prove to your dad that, one, I don't need you. I can do this on my own. Like, you got to realize D-Mac, we've yet to really see D-Mac's mother. So that means he was tossed in the streets at a young age. Like, the streets is home to him.
As he said.
So imagine being taken away from your home by these people who say they care about you, but you don't know who they are. I think we constantly forget that about D-Mac. He don't know his daddy. He damn sure don't know Kate. Like, he's just meeting these people. He dropped his guard for a minute. And
they sent them off.
It seemed like he was getting comfortable. But at the same token, like, his real family, his real life, he feels was calling him. And that's why he always did everything to impress people on the streets. He was pretending, to him, that is his family. That's what he's supposed to be doing. Like, that's the difference here between what we're accustomed to seeing when we see certain people in street life and the way they're portraying D-Mac here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see also Marshall's response to this as well, too. That seems to be, it's his boy. You can almost go as far as saying his brother, and seeing D-Mac's actions, seeing D-Mac tossing away the stability with his family for the streets, which is where he basically is like, "Are you listening to me?" Yeah.
He asked him, "Why do you need to be in this so bad?"
Yeah,
and
that's
it
an
kind of
answer.
shows
It's
the disconnect between them two.
1,000%. Tatsuki returning back to Super Chat land with another $5 Super Chat. The Chicago dealers on this show aren't big thinkers. Diamond is held back by not wanting to go to jail. Tommy is running the correlations. Yeah, I mean, also too, I feel like everybody was kind of settled in their territories and their operations, and now that there's so much attention, I think a lot of folks are. I don't know. I can only speculate here. Maybe a lot of folks are getting more money than they ever received, so the playing field's gotten bigger, the stakes has gotten bigger, and a lot of folks are operating in spaces that they just never could imagine, or never could. So I think we see a lot of folks in big time positions with inexperience. I say that to say, because I need justification as to why Miguel is operating the way he is. He is supposed to be big time, and he seems like he is just a corner boy at times, the way he rationales about things.
I got you here, Toxic Key. Most people in the street aren't big thinkers. I hate to tell you this. It's people who run crews. They are very single-minded in their approach. And that single-mindedness is, how can I get money? How can I get more money?
Yeah.
Tommy has created a pipeline where, as my partner here said, they're getting more money than they've ever gotten before.
Yeah.
They're done. My job is complete. They're never, it's rare that you're going to find someone on the streets that thinks big picture. And in our history, we know the ones who thought big picture when they're on the streets because we know their names. We know the outposts. We know, we know Rayful. Like we know these people. We know Meech. We know people who thought big time. And we don't know them just because they just happen to be that big. We know them because that way of thinking isn't big. Like, I mean, is it plentiful? People don't think that way on the street. In all honesty, you are there just to make money. And the goal is to make money over money over money. And if you have a pipeline of someone who is flooding you with money, I reach my goal. I don't need to think past that. Like, I got money and I could become a millionaire based off of this. I don't need to think any more than that.
Let me ask you a question after I read this last super chat. Dutch McVeigh, I believe I said that right. Definitely a new name to the chat. So what's going on, Dutch? Glad to have you here tonight. With the $5 super chat. I feel like Diamond and Tommy are going to go against each other next season. I love this. I love this all the way. All the way. You know why I love this so much? Is because one is it's a rivalry we haven't seen. But what's more interesting is Janard in the middle, because let's not forget that Shanti's pushing him to go against his brother, but also pushing him to go against Tommy. He's literally in the middle in a direction that doesn't send him in either direction. It's literally puts him in the middle, which puts him in a very dangerous position, which also creates for more interesting storytelling. I like this a lot, and I think that Isaac and Joseph had just been working really good on screen together. I like to see them against each other and see how that works out in some scenes. And I think the glimpse of that was the end of the season, the episode tonight. So we'll see. So let me ask you a question: If Diamond and Tommy were actual people, have they achieved the name in the likes of the Alpos and Rayful Edmonds and so on? Have they reached that status yet? Would you say?
Tommy would have. One, because Tommy's known in multiple cities at this point. You can't be known in multiple. I mean, again, that's kind of what Alpo was known for. He's a nigga that came from one place, came to another place, had the best ultimate hitter as a partner, and that made him huge and unstoppable. Kind of what Tommy is at this point. Tommy went somewhere, hooked up with a crew that was already known, and made them bigger. Like, he would be the person. Like, that's what makes this show at times, and I can understand it, frustrating for people. And the frustration is Tommy and Diamond's relationship, because everything you see on screen, Tommy is the leader of CBI. It is not Diamond. And I think people are waiting for the point where Tommy, for lack of a better term, Tommy lays his dick on the table and says, "Oh, I run this, not you." Like, what have you done? In all honesty, for Diamond, what have you done? You introduced me to people and I took over. And I'm waiting for, I think that's going to happen next season where Tommy's going to be like, "Oh, technically you've done nothing. You had a crew. I made your crew better. I made your crew richer. I built all of this." Because he kind of says it at the end of the episode. He hints towards it. But we know Tommy. Eventually, he's going to fully say it.
Yeah, he definitely like just kind of did his piece. It's like he had nothing to say, which was interesting. But I know it's going to be a little bit a part of what I want to ask tomorrow, as I mentioned once again, folks. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have Mr. Joseph Sikora on the show tomorrow. So if y'all have questions for my guy, y'all get those in the chat. Let's get back to the show. Shanti and Tommy, as Tommy hits the Grim Reaper popping up at the gym, as she said, creeping in my gym. And he said, "You can't let everybody see that we meet." He wants to know the details of Claudia and the Serf's first meet with the Marquez cartel. Shanti makes it very clear, "I don't work for you, I work with you." And Tommy says, "Listen." Oh, and before that, she says, like, "I don't think you have a plan," but he says, "Listen and learn. I'm gonna tell you all about it." So I very quick scene, just Shanti still letting folks know that she's still a boss, but she's also going to fall in line when Tommy puts his foot down. I really did enjoy this next scene. It's at the barbershop with Diamond getting Janard a fresh cut, and Janard over here talking to his brother, and like, "Man, Tommy got my girl out here in danger in these streets." But also too, it should be known that Janard is not on the inside with this plan. Like, this is a plan that only Tommy and Shanti knows. And although they're together, she still didn't tell Janard. That should say a lot. I don't care what you say. They aren't just business friends. They are together. Shanti should be able to tell Janard what's happening, and Janard should be able to run suit. Because if it was any other way, Janard certainly would have told her. And actually, it's already happened in terms of Janard letting Shanti know about stuff on the inside, the picture, for instance. And she's just like, "Hey, let's chill. We'll come back to this whatnot." But should be known that Janard is not on the inside with that plan. But anyway, to talk about the Mad Dog case, here's what's interesting. As Diamond says, he got to go. And then Janard's like, he's only 16. And then Diamond responds back as, "Don't matter. Age ain't nothing but a number on the streets." Is that true? Because I ain't never heard that before. I ain't never heard that statement. I have never heard that age ain't nothing but a number in the streets.
Okay.
That's kid.
You know what? There's a bunch of little setup questions that I can answer to.
You could have just said yes or no. I didn't ask you to display.
Here's the thing.
You incriminate yourself.
Here's the thing.
And they're gonna get you in the chat too. So
your age only matters when you're a civilian. That's the only time your age matters. When you are a youngin' who you may be around street people because that's in your neighborhood, but you're not part of anything, that's when your age matters. Because you're innocent. The moment you get involved in anything, your innocence no longer exists. I would care less if you were 12 or 24. It's the same threat. No difference at all. No one cares about your age at that point. Because you in the game. Like, once you get in, you in. Like, that's your job. That's who you are. Because a 12-year-old will kill you just as fast as a 20-year-old will kill you. So why would I care about your age? Diamond's 1,000% right. The moment he pulled that trigger, your age no longer mattered.
Facts. I agree with that, and I think the people in the chat do as well too. So, but Diamond mentioned that, listen, I can't take a risk of taking that shot. And everybody, tying it back to CBI, because CBI is running Chicago right now. Janard questions, do we need Tommy? But Diamond has no words for that. He says, listen, Miguel gonna kill both of you all when he finds out. And this is just nothing but Janard casting doubts, doubt after doubt in terms of, one, Tommy's involvement and benefit, two, CBI, but ultimately just his relationship with Tommy, and that he doesn't feel that he needs him, and obviously he wants his brother to be more keen to him. So more doubt setting up for this episode.
He was just a crackhead 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Look, he back there.
You're not allowed to make kingpin decisions, and you literally just was a crackhead. Why would I listen to you? I love you. You're my bro. I absolutely love you. You was just smoking crack in a car with a white boy. You let him rub up on you and shoot dope in your veins. And you think I'm now going to listen to business decisions from you. Sir, you have not made good decisions for a long period of time. I'm not listening to you. In one ear, out the other.
He got
clean fast, Joe.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
yeah, he did.
Charles, they had to show him shaking on the bed. Like, they didn't even show Janard go through withdrawals. Like, this nigga's he's a mutant. It's humanly possible to be dope in 2 weeks and not go through withdrawals. Not a single. This nigga was eating a salad. Have y'all ever seen someone go through withdrawals? You know the last thing they're doing? Eating leafy vegetables. No, it would look like The Exorcist the way they would throw up everywhere. This dude is a mutant. I already know. I'm just waiting for Charles Xavier to come out and tell us that Janard is an X-Men. Because other than that, there's no way he got off of dope in 2 weeks. He's fucking Wolverine. Something needs to be explained here. I'm still confused how he got off of dope this week.
Oh, man. I like that Chris Lofton, because the strike is up now, so everybody's posting videos about production. Chris posted one last night. He was like taking a selfie video. He's like, yeah, Janard back. He ain't on that stuff no more.
Exactly. Damn it, we know. We see you. You getting fresh cuts. He didn't even go fully like through the crackhead where their hair grow out of place. He didn't do nothing what Franklin went through. And Franklin was just drinking too much. Like, Janard was he was minutes away from sucking dick. And all of a sudden, he's perfectly clean. Like, I'm not power logic, because that's what I call it. I just have never seen someone get clean so fast.
Oh, man. All right, so we got to get back to the show. We got Vic and the feds, and Vic is letting them know the plan to meet all that's happening, and he wants to be done being the CI. And, well, much like we all know, as he mentioned, like, listen, man, you just not going to stop moving the goalposts, are you all? He says, listen, get the info on that meeting and you're done. We'll have you arrested and you will disappear immediately after that. So Vic looks like he's finally hearing what he wants to hear. But after that, though, we get a very, very, very important and interesting scene. That's with Vic and Claudia at their dad's house at the Flynn compound. And Vic goes in there and says, listen, it's all yours. The estate, the family business. I'm signing it all over to you. You were born to rule, which I love to mention of that because it's the truth. And this was not him just letting her hear what she wanted to hear. I think he absolutely meant it, and it just happened to work with the narrative of his plan. But he says, this always should have been you. I'm leaving Chicago for good. This was always his plan. And as he signs over the Flynn's fortune to Claudia, he gets her on tape to admit that she was the one who ordered the hit. So he says, I need closure because I never got it with Gloria. I never got it with Dad. And you'll never see me again. Just admit that you knew the assassins were coming and you didn't tell me. And he then gets her to double down and saying, so you killed Dad and tried to kill me. She says, yes. So she says, Vic, wait. And he says, no, I got what I needed. She cries and he has it all recorded. Never thought that Vic would actually be this calculated here. I don't know where the fuck this came from, honestly.
This man, he went from fighting being a snitch to being the ultimate snitch. Like, his transition is crazy.
Maybe that is what it is. Maybe he learned a few things working under the feds. It's like, I'm about to use this right now. I was definitely surprised by this.
I was more surprised that Claudia cried. Nigga, you
yeah.
tried to kill him. What are you crying for? You made a very calculated decision when Brennan told you what time they was gonna be there, and you said, "Oh, okay, I'm just not gonna tell my brother." And now Vic is like, Vic just waiting other people to snitch on at this point. He's snitching on Tommy, he's snitching on her. He'd have snitched on Gloria if she was still alive at this point. Like, it is ridiculous the way he's going about it, but you understand he's only doing it because he never wanted to be this deep into the game. He was not interested in this. He wanted to take his black queen and leave and go somewhere where interracial marriage is safe. That's all Vic wanted. And instead, he's stuck here.
Because it's the truth, actually.
He's stuck here where he has to attempt to live up to a name that he doesn't respect.
Let me ask you a question, because you just kind of brushed over it. Claudia crying. What do you think is the reason behind it?
I don't know.
Okay, so
I do not know. Well, it's one thing that I was thinking, and that is technically Vic is the last blood family member she has. That's it. Her dad's gone, her mom's gone. It's just Vic. In the end, she made a calculated decision because she wanted to run everything to not let Vic know that the hitters were coming.
Yeah.
But at this point, I think she realizes he's the only family I have left. And that's where the tears come from. But also, she cried when she went to go see her father's body. This bitch is calculating.
So no. That was fake. That was fake tears there. To me, I'm just going to say that it just felt like she got closure here. Like, she, we talked a little bit about this earlier in the season about, like, in terms of the cinematography, how they just kept showing her in front of the mirror, this moment of accountability, and she was ice cold. When she sort of scheduled the hit, or the lack of the details about the assassination attempts. She looked in the mirror and it was kind of just ice cold. Obviously, when she cried over identifying her father's body, that was fake. But, like, there's been so many moments this season where she was yet left to be accountable for her actions or decisions. This is the first time that she got what she heard. She literally got to hear everything she ever wanted from her dad. She hears it from her brother. I'm not going to say it was what she would have wanted, but it's what she needed to hear. And I think once you start hearing the things that you've always wanted to hear, I think that's what it was. Those were the tears. I think it might have been a fact that it was her last family member, but I think it definitely was a lot of, like, you got everything you want now. Deal with it. This is the future you wanted. You wanted me gone. You wanted my dad. You wanted dad gone. You wanted all of this. You wanted to run. Here you go. Deal with it now. And I think that's one of those moments where the reality hit.
The tears did not come until she had to admit to Vic that she tried to kill him. It didn't come from him telling her you can have everything. It came from him saying, I need you to admit that you wanted to kill me, that you didn't tell me this hit was coming. That's when the tears came. And I think that's when it clicks to her, like, damn, I do want all of this, but I was literally willing to kill him to get everything. That's the connection part for her, is that her realizing in the end, like, I was going to kill my brother to get all of this stuff. Yes, this is what I want, but look to the lengths I was willing to go to do it. So that's why I said I don't think it's necessarily her getting everything she wanted, because he told her she had all of that and she was emotionless.
Yeah.
It's he made her admit, you were going to kill me. You need to admit this. And that's when the tear came out, like, damn.
And I even think, looking in retrospect too, like, when the things were, like, when all the dominoes were falling down, again, I think it's a lot of the accountability where it's like, you literally had to look yourself, which in the mirror or the glass at this point, like, you were willing to do any and everything to achieve this. And maybe you didn't realize that you checked the box, yes, for kill Vic. But now that I'm saying it and repeating it back to you, like, you do know that, like, by you wanting all of this, that's right here that I just gave to you, that meant that you wanted me gone. And I think it was
that's the hit point
damn,
for her.
like, damn. But I just love how Vic, ultimate snitch master 101. We got another season with this guy. Had his iPhone out. It was like, Siri, record. got the whole thing on her.
All he was caring about was recording. Claudia was just breaking down. She like, damn. I think you nailed it. She was like, damn, like, you're right. I was gonna kill you to get everything I wanted. But in the end, she never wanted Vic dead.
Yeah.
He was gonna be collateral damage.
Yeah,
like,
1000%.
I need this. And if you're gonna be collateral damage, because in all honesty, let's be realistic here. I don't know who else out there has brothers and sisters, but I have
majority of people
wished things upon people I'm related to on the multiple occasions. And did not second think about it until after the fact, like, damn, I did say I was gonna.
Like, you're going to jail by the end of this recap.
No, because I didn't say I did anything. I said I thought about it. But in the moment, in the heated moment, or in a point where you're positioning yourself for something, you're not thinking about it. You're just thinking about your ultimate goal. Here, she has to reflect on, like, damn, I actually was willing to kill you to get what I wanted.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it was a mirror of it was her having to relive the accountability for the action it was. I wouldn't go to the degree where you're going at with the examples here, but I think a lot of folks make irrational decisions and don't realize about the repercussions on all scales.
1000% so.
People are willing to do a lot of things. Just talk about driving. People are willing to exceed the speed limit in order to get to their place faster, realizing how dangerous it was for the decisions that they made.
You said driving. People are willing to engage in road rage, and then after the fact, they think, oh, I was just so caught in that moment.
Yeah.
I did not think about the consequences of my actions.
Let me tell you, every time I be behind the wheel and I be thinking about, like, man, I'm about to cut this person off or something like that. All I think about will be happening down Atlanta, where it'd be just shootouts in the middle of the afternoon because everybody's strapped. I'm like, oh, you cut me off? Bet. I'm pull right back up to you, and it just be your luck that somebody be strapped and be like, okay, you want to do that? So. But anyway, let me get back to things real quick.
Past that. That's a good way to put that, but I'm not commenting at all because
you gonna go to jail, and I will be. We're Eric Iverson at.
Hey,
Eric, no, where you at, Eric? Eric,
hey, no, we gotta
get in the chat, bro.
We ain't gotta do that. Oh man, my brother got a cell phone in jail, and he be on Facebook. I'm pretty sure we could do this show from me being in jail.
Hey,
I know plenty of people.
Hey, one of my mans be on. Dog, one of my mans be on the live. I was like, dog, I'm so confused right now. I'm so confused. I ain't seen my man in like 15 years. I was like, dog, he just be on the live.
My brother sent me a Cash App request. He has been in jail for 34 years. I don't even know why he knows that technology exists. And he sent me a Cash App request. I said, how you what? This is not JPEG. Like, I know how you get money, but why the fuck do you have a Cash App in jail? Makes no sense.
Miss McKeever, we didn't hurt Eric feelings. Some of y'all did, I guess. Anyway, I live by that.
I hurt Eric feelings. Yeah. I don't know how that happened, but you know what? God bless him.
Yeah. Kate's back, and I'm about to get to the rest of it because we got a long episode, so I'm gonna stop so much sidebar. We got a lot to go. So Kate is back. Tom is asking, what the fuck are you doing here? And it's the typical blame game between them. And while this is a whole details about what happened with D-Mac and being at the military school, and Kate's just running her mouth about everything that JP had just recently told her
not to say, talk about.
Yeah, and Tommy comes out and says D-Mac killed the cop, and Kate is definitely like dumbfounded, like, oh, really? So there's a moment of her sentiments changing games with the blame game here. Definitely her having a moment of like, oh, wait, really? So I guess that was a surprising detail for her. But anyway, he says, led you to think, Tommy explains why he did what he did. I led you to think he was dead because I thought you were going to make everything worse, and you did because that's what you do. So again, I don't take a lot from this scene because this is typical Kate and Tommy. They always going to throw bombs at each other. And at the end of the day, no matter who leaves the room, no matter who gets the last word, they still love each other. It's still the same thing right now.
Wondering through this whole scene, how did Kate make it worse? That's all I know. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What did she do?
I mean, and this is, just to jump a little bit earlier, but I'm later, but like this is Diamond telling Tommy, like, everything's always about you. It's not always about you. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Anyway, we get Miguel drinking heavy because grandma, is gone, and my man, he's hurting. And his homie comes in and say, man, grandma, I'll be so proud of you. But here's the first scene of the episode for me that didn't make sense. So Miguel says, like, listen, the Serbs are the reason that she is dead. I had a chance to kill them and I messed up. My only revenge is because of Tommy bringing Nunez to him. So grandma, as he mentioned, grandma never trusted him. So I think it's finally time for me to kill Tommy because he's too dangerous to be left alive. I'm telling you why this blew me. Because there's like a half truth here. Like, yes, grandma was very much clear that like Tommy is obviously 10 steps ahead of you and he's eventually going to take everything from you. It's true. Tommy is dangerous being left alive. That's also true. Yes. Not just dangerous, but also completely detrimental to your position, your spot, your operation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
But if you want to honor your grandma, Merkovich is the person that you need to kill. The Serbs killed her. Your instant response is, I'm going after Merkovich. Period. He's not in jail at this time. He's still out there. You had your opportunity and miss, so go again. I am thoroughly confused how he built this whole thing up of like, the Serbs did this. She's dead because of the Serbs. Grandma never trusted Tommy. Must kill Tommy. Huh? Revenge your grandma by killing the Serbs.
It's like when we went to war. The Taliban did it. The Taliban did it. We're going after Iraq though. Like what? Wait. None of that makes sense. Like, go back a little bit here. How did we start here and end up here?
Yeah.
But we understand at this point that it's just Tommy. That's all it is. Tommy's the ultimate threat to everyone.
Everybody.
Miguel, Stacy. I'm surprised they didn't team up at this point.
Next season.
Next season.
You know what's funny though?
Walk into Miguel. We got
on
a mutual enemy.
On the low, they are working with each other because Stacy has never put Miguel in her crosshairs at all.
Never
at all.
Never. She won't even look at Miguel, Joe.
Clearly.
They could come in there and Miguel could literally shoot an innocent little black girl in the street. And for some reason, Stacy would find a way to say, if Tommy wasn't around, there's no way Miguel would have did that. So we got to go after Tommy. Like, that's her thing. It's Tommy no matter what.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, maybe she got a thing for Miguel. Maybe she like him. I mean, I know him and Bobby are different nationalities here, but like, maybe she got a thing for what they call exotic folks.
She just had sex with Bobby the Scissor. She fine. That's all women need.
That wasn't real.
Yours.
That wasn't real. That wasn't real. That was good as hush money. Flat out.
Women ain't having sex in 27 pieces if they don't love you. Like, that don't happen.
It's hush money. Shut up. Stay on my side. We're going after Tommy. Let me go after this super chat. Miss McKeever returning to super chat land with the $5 super chat. Tommy frozen in one place, trying to defy power, parent and child lunacy almost moved me to tears. He thought letting Kate go meant he could keep Maria.
Damn.
That is my question tomorrow. That is literally my question right now for tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I will also say that I've also brought that question up to maybe I don't know if I asked Dion or did I ask Gary, but I asked that question And they've also gave a response, but that's literally the question I need to know. So we're going to get an answer to that because yes, there's definitely a lot to make.
Right after Kate said, "I'm always going to be the woman in your life."
Right. And how about pose my question? I and whoever I asked, I said this will be the first time that Tommy has ever picked a woman over his mother. Because I think the moment of him crying about, I mean, we'll get there in about a second. Yes, I'll just hold off to that. Let me wait till you get.
That's a good point to make there.
So we get D-Mac and Marshall as D-Mac is still at Marshall's crib. He said, "Man, you still crashing?" And he was like, "Man, ain't your dad taught to Tommy?" This is hilarious. I don't know if this is a voiceover or did Lucian really pull out.
He nailed that damn voice. He nailed that voice, Joe.
Hilarious hearing him mock JP here. But he says he really don't want me back in CBI. But Marshall with the very questionable this right here. Also, this is the second thing that just completely confused me this episode. So with D-Mac in the frenzy trying to get back in the CBI and blaming that Tommy and his father and everybody doesn't want him back in CBI, Marshall says, "All right, well, it's all good, brother. I got something that'll calm me down," and gives him a strap.
Hey.
Is this a hood dude lollipop or something? Like this was to get you. Must be. Must be. But he says, "Listen,
ain't nothing better than a fresh gun that you ain't never shot before." Yeah, I ain't saying new. Ain't nothing like one that you ain't never shot before.
Yeah. Here's a strap. But listen, whatever you do, don't go out there and kill another cop with that. And then Marshall says, "So why you want to be back in the game so bad?" And then he talked about the rules of the coalition. And he says, "Listen, you can't hit back without fucking some shit up, obviously laying down the landscape of everything that's going on, all the rules and whatnot." And D-Mac hears this and says, "All right, good to know. Well, listen, I'm going to go help Diamond." Marshall's like, "Wait, did you listen to anything I just said?" He says, "Listen,
nothing.
Good thing I'm not with CBI. I can hit back." And yeah, so before I give it to you real quick, we got another super chat, Miss Makiba with another super chat, $2. Also, call back to Proctor letting Lindsay
OD. Yep.
That's a good one there. You all are on the money tonight. Damn. Y'all here letting folks know y'all deep in the power load. That's actually, yeah. So it's a really, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good one. What's your thoughts about, if anything, or do I just keep moving on with this D-Mac and Marshall?
No. We're gonna look first. Does Marshall have his own place? Because I ain't seen a parent at all here. I'm just like, even JP went to Marshall's house. So I'm just gonna assume that Marshall get in on the street and he's taking care of himself at this point. And he just moved in with Marshall. Because I was just highly confused every time they go to Marshall's house. And I don't see Marshall's parents. I just see Marshall there. But for the gun, as we focus on that part already, here, the funny part for me here with D-Mac is that, again, he's just so single-minded here. When your best friend, the person who you would think you would trust the most, is like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I got it. I'm just going to go kill this person for Diamond." It's that desperate need to feel wanted again.
Yeah.
And it has to be wanted by CBI. It makes no sense at all that he's fighting this hard for CBI.
Yeah.
Even after his boy let him know things have changed since you left. He's the rules now.
And like, to me, it's like,
that boy's untouchable. He let D-Mac know he can. No, he's untouchable. I'm gonna do it.
I just don't get. I just don't get why Marshall gave him the gun. But at the same time, too, D-Mac is just way gone.
I mean,
because
we are in Chicago. Like, he ain't got no business walking around without a gun. That would be nuts. Like, absolutely nuts.
I mean, the other thing is too, like, if I was in D-Mac position, I mean, I think the first thing I would have did was, "Hey, Marshall, how do I get back in the CBI? You're in it. So what are you doing so that I can do the same thing? My man is like, so whatever he's doing, who's already in it, I'm going to go and listen to I'm going to absolutely listen to nothing he just told me, go about it my way. And
but
maybe Diamond will accept me for the actions I take.
It's because Marshall knows. It's because Marshall knows D-Mac can't be back in CPI. Marshall knows who the head of CPI is. It's your uncle. If he ain't putting you back in it, no one's putting you back in it.
So that's a really good point. It's actually a really, really, really good point.
Marshall knows, like, hey, that's your uncle. Like,
yeah.
That's why he asks, did your dad talk to Tommy yet? Because he knows that's the only way you getting back in is if your uncle says yes.
Yeah, and they're avoiding that's for a reason. Yeah. that's on purpose, brother.
Exactly. Like, there's no getting back into this without your uncle knowing about it.
Yeah.
You thought you was gonna go to Diamond and Diamond was gonna say, sure, you could join me. Fuck Tommy. No.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. We got Elise and Claudia at the Flynn compound, and this just it's typical Claudia happening here, but we'll just talk about it because we have to. But anyway, Elise says, I thought you always hated him from holding you back for the family business. And Claudia says, he controlled every aspect of my life. And while they were getting ready to make out somewhere, she decides that she needs to make it happen in Walter's chair. Elise proclaims her love for Claudia. Says, I'll give you whatever you want. Do you want this? And Claudia has definitely, without a doubt, I'm gonna have to check the stat sheets here, have the most bodies in force. As she claims another one right now with Elise.
With Janae Ayako playing in the background.
Yep. As soon as they pipe, as soon as they pipe in that music.
You knew that song came on. You knew. I got you. I
ain't trying to be critical here, but like whoever is in charge of sound mixing, I guess when they license music, they like, listen, we're gonna get our money's worth. Do not put that at the balance level. Pipe that bitch up a little bit so that everybody knows.
That shit zones everybody else out, Jim. It's like somebody turned on a Spotify playlist in the middle of them shooting the episode and say, yup, blast this motherfucker here.
Yeah, for real.
And it's two white women having sex. Could we get a white women sex appropriate song?
Like, who you suggesting? Taylor Swift?
Of course, Taylor Swift. Of course. I don't know if Taylor Swift has a sex song, because that would be nasty. But like Miley Cyrus or something, like Wrecking Ball, that would have been awesome in that scene. But not Janae Ayako with two white women. That's odd. Hey, we know neither one of them two. Well, on the aspects of the show, neither one of those characters are listening to Janae Ayako. Under no circumstance.
I got Claudia listening to some Janae.
Look, Claudia ain't listening to black music since she changed her hair color back. We got one moment with
Miley Cyrus. It is
white girl Claudia. It's Miley Cyrus, and she probably listened to the black Miley Cyrus back when Miley liked black people. Like we had that when she was with Mike Will.
Mike Will, yeah,
when she was with Mike Will. We got that one. That and we won't stop. Like that's that perfect song for Claudia to have sex with her too. Like that's it. Black Miley Cyrus, that one, or Justin Timberlake, one of the two. Even Black Justin Bieber too. Peaches. That would have been the joke right there.
All right, so we got Tommy and Mora here, and he says, "Listen." Oh, well, she says, "When are we going to go to Barcelona? Because they got their tickets now." He says, "I got one more thing to do, and then we're out of here." And with all that conversation, he says, I'm always going to come back here. The streets is where I belong. And it looks like Mora was not so thrilled about that response. But, he says, you choosing me over your brother, that's big. I've always been, she responds back, I've always been an outsider to them. And, you over them is the best choice for me. I love you, Tommy. The door knocks, and I was like, oh boy, who could it be? But it is Kate. And Kate comes through piping hot. She's like, I just want to tell you were right. I'm sorry. And of course, she comes in, looks around, realizes that somebody's there, and says, you're fucking a nurse. Does she know what you do? And then she says, you better run while you can. Listen, I grew up in the life, and none of this is new to me. I can handle myself. and shut down Kate. Also, do want to quickly mention why I didn't have it in my notes. Why he says that, like, do you know what he does? Is you get pretty young girls like you killed. She responds back and says, like, Lakeisha Grant. I thought that was just.
Does Kate even know who the fuck that is? Because Kate was not around when he was with Lakeisha Grant. I thought Kate was about to go on a list of other girls, like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, let me name some other women you don't know about, because I don't even know who that person is.
Yeah. But anyway, she says, like, listen, and then once Maria leaves, go to work, give him a kiss. She says, listen, I'm the only girl who's ever stayed in your life. And Tommy says, you know what is for you? Gives her a little test bag. As it's some pure cocaine for your pure bullshit, and pushes her out the door. So typical.
Can I ask one question before we go to the next one too? I got one question about this.
Mm-hmm.
You all and everybody out there, especially my women who are listening now and who will listen in the future. So Maria chose her brother over Tommy. Tommy says, I love you for that. You know, I can prove that you're down for me. Tommy, before then, tells her, I'm never picking you over the streets. The streets is my lady. You are secondary. I'm never leaving the streets. The moment he said that, shouldn't she have, like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't have chosen you over my brother.
Yeah, but I agree. But it would have been where you're aiming at if he ain't come back the way he did, where he then immediately says, the fact that you chose your brother over me, you know, I appreciate you for that. So it was like one bad comment that was quickly covered by something she wanted to hear. So she just overlooked it really fast.
That's the perfect pit move.
It is.
I'm letting you know, like, I'm never choosing you over the streets, but you know, he hit her with the DJ Khaled when Khaled be like, I appreciate you. You smart. Yeah, we the best. Like all of that bullshit that he hit her with after telling her, I'm never picking you over the streets. Like, you already know I'm coming back here.
Yeah, immediately. I mean, he came back with a response right after that just covered it up. So yeah, and that's why I said, like, when he said that initially, she had this look like, wait, what? And then he was like, but by the way, so you know, it just kind of worked out the way. Anyway, let me just keep going here. We get D-Mac. He's in the streets, runs up on Mad Dog. You Mad Dog, right? And he says, like, this is for Diamond. Gets a selfie after he shoots him and kills Mad Dog in the street. So there's that. Claudia and Merkovich, where Claudia wants to know how soon they can meet with Roberto. We got the buy-in money. And he mentions that while everybody has their teams, Merkovich says it's just you. I don't want to be outnumbered since his partner got to go do something. He says his partner had business to handle. Little did we know. Oh, his partner got. What did he say his partner had to go? He said his partner had to go somewhere. I didn't write it down.
But for him.
Yeah. But Shanti was asked to stand down. And then he mentioned he can't do it at his restaurant because his restaurant is going through renovations, as we know. But says, I have the perfect location. Let's hear it. So there is that. So it's interesting how things kind of just. I thought the strategy in terms of everything, like the location and Claudia and all this, and how it kind of worked about, I guess, the legitimacy of them being bust, about how everything went about.
There you go.
Yeah, they handled that pretty good. So we get Diamond at the shop, count money. D-Mac shows up, and Diamond's definitely not happy about D-Mac showing up, but he says, let me show you something real quick. And he says, hey, I killed him for you. I slid on him for you. It's like, I want to be back in the game. And then Diamond, very frustrated and confused, said, did anybody see you? And then he was like, no, wait, I don't think so. Typical D-Mac. He says, you wasn't gonna let that. He said, you wasn't gonna let that shit slide. So I slid for you. He said, so, like, you know, which I think this is actually the only thing D-Mac said that was true, is that, like, Diamond definitely was going to try to figure some stuff out, knowing that he couldn't have did it, but he said, you weren't going to let it slide, so I slid for you. And then he wants to know, what are you thinking? What are you going to do? And what are we going to do about King Kilo? So I don't think there's much to even discuss there. Just some events happening here. So Tommy, the Serbs, and Claudia, they roll up to Tommy's house, and I love this scene too with Shanti in the back, and he says, "Oh, she's with you now." And then Shanti says, "I know a winner when I see one," which is a line that's said later on in the episode. And Claudia says, "I'm untouchable now. I have the Marquez cartel in my corner." And Tommy says, listen, lady, you got to be lucky every day of your life. I only got to be lucky once, as this is a clear threat to Claudia to continue to look over her shoulder. So Diamond and Janard, and they're talking about what happened. And this is interesting. As Janard says, someone recognized D-Mac. I was not expecting the turnaround from this to be the way it was. The fact that they speculated that somebody may have seen D-Mac. And then a couple of scenes later, it's like somebody definitely seen that it was D-Mac. So interesting. But anyway, he says, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. He says, so plan is what we're going to do with King Kilo. We need the RDs. He says, listen, fuck Tommy. He ain't got to know about this. I can fix this. What if I go tell King Kilo we deliver D-Mac dead or alive? And then they both get in their cars. And we see Janard in his hoopty, which for whatever reason, they let that scene go a little bit longer than it should have. I guess he got some improv time to talk about his hoopty that he had.
We had to see his hoopty. That's what it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Which is
forgot
interesting.
That he had lost his car.
That's right. That's
on drugs.
That's right.
That lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I said, well, maybe that is why they played that scene the way it is, because we do see what you can almost call an irrelevant scene later that he gets his car back. Because what's interesting to me was I would have rather there been a scene of them identifying or somebody mentioning that it was D-Mac and had that visualized than seeing Janard, his hoopty, and him getting his car back. Like I didn't see the significance of that, unless him shooting the Serbs there has some type of recoil effect down the line.
Yeah,
but
that's
the
Serbs, it could be.
Yeah, but the Serbs are putties, man. So like they're a dime a dozen. So like him killing somebody, it's like, what's that got to mean with anything? Let me go to super chat here. Miss McKeever returning hot with another super chat.
Y'all catch him
walking away.
Did y'all catch D-Max looking like catch your way walking away?
When?
You gonna make me go back now, Joe?
On what scene were you talking about? Like on the this get back in the chat and let us know what scene are you talking about. You're not the scene where he shoots homie, or is there
the scene we were just talking about? Well, I'm assuming because that's when I kind of initially
with Diamond and Janard. That's
going up, or even that, or the scene when they pulled up on Tommy. I don't know, it's one of those things.
Okay,
I'm gonna go back and see if I can see D-Max looking like in those scenes.
Okay, yeah, we need to.
We may look for D-Max lookalike and it actually be him.
Yeah. So Tommy and Vic here. So Vic wants to know, have you set a location for the meet? And Tommy says the meet is all set. And he says, give me the details. He said gives details while the fans are listening here. He says, listen, we're all set then. Everything's about to change. We got them. As everybody is completely excited on the Fed team, we can set up the raid. But Bobby comes in with the reservation, questioning that the location doesn't fit the profile. I need more. He says, we need more intel before we can organize the raid. Stacy's like, fuck all that. We don't got time for that. What was your thoughts about Bobby and addressing some legitimate concern? And Stacy being Stacy. And he says when D-Mac slid on the ops, 2 kids was talking to Mad Dog. I gotta go back and look at that scene. I swear I don't remember anybody. Oh yeah. Oh. Before he
went right on the basketball court. Yep.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. But what's your thoughts about the Stacy and Bobby situation here?
Look here. Again, she's the worst person humanly possible here.
Yeah.
Like when Bobby tells you, an experienced cop, something doesn't feel right, you would just assume you would actually believe him when he tells you this doesn't fit the profile. But again, she's so single-minded on getting Tommy. None of that mattered to her.
Yeah.
It was, we getting Tommy today. And we see how it backfires on her every time. But it's her obsession with Tommy. I know we kind of talked about it. To me, if we're going to continue this obsession, it needs to make a lot more sense why she's so super obsessed with Tommy.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem here. Like, she's not willing to let that go no matter what. Even with her husband saying, let this portion go. We got so much more we need to be worrying about here. She's still focused on Tommy and Tommy only.
Yep. Oh, wouldn't be power if we didn't have characters like Stacy. Anywho, D-Mac, JP, and Kate. D-Mac clearly thinks he's grown here. He says, man, I'm done with this family. The streets is my family. You were supposed to talk to Tommy. You didn't. And this man is wild though, but he says like, I'm a gangster. I killed somebody. I caught another body today. And honestly, this is just a wild scene because everybody's looking like, wait, what is happening? But
it shows just how bad he wants to be accepted.
Yeah, but also too, something I peeped while he's saying all this though, because he's like, everybody's looking and he's, he's saying all this, but he's looking scared, like he's living a lot. And the fact that he looks outside like he's paranoid, this to me is telling a lot. But I agree, he's just saying things to try to get acceptance, to try to get reactions and whatnot. But yeah, but everybody in this scene is just in shambles. We already talked about the dialogue earlier. But JP was pissed after this was said. Kate tried to like be there for him, but wasn't effective, and that also pushed Kate over the edge as she goes and sit down at the table and she's just playing with the bag and debating on using it. And honestly, I thought this was going to be like what was going to happen around like episode 5 when she was clean. But she's already went back once. But
hey, this is Tommy. Tommy's pushing drugs on her every time he sees her.
That's true. This is true. So the feds. So the feds talking about, listen, we're getting ready to deliver a history-making RICO case to the DOJ tomorrow. It's interesting that one of the members of this team says, I hope Tommy gets killed in a crossfire because he killed Vargas. I'm just curious, can they actually talk like that?
No. Under no circumstances can they talk like that.
I don't know why. I was like, wait, do that be happening in there?
I'm not going to say it doesn't happen. You're just not supposed to talk that way about it.
Yeah. Chicago for you folks. But Vic gets a call from Stacy and says, listen, go to the meet. We will arrest you and everyone else, and you will be in witness protection immediately after that. And Vic then goes to Gloria's grave. This is going to be our last visit, Gloria. I hope you made you proud. I did this all for you. And here's the Hennessy bottle because, I like black women and black things.
If I'm not mistaken, we didn't get Ghost Gloria come back to see Vic. All them unanswered prayers. Like, Vic is clearly not one of God's favorites. Like, he didn't get to see Ghost Gloria not one time. Tommy got to see Ghost Holly, and she got to be in her second trimester. Like, Holly died when she was like 4 weeks pregnant. Like it was not even a heartbeat yet. She was one step away from the Plan B pill.
I can't remember. Did he get Ghost Liliana too? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's all right. Right.
And Vic can't get Ghost Gloria like one time. She tried to visit Tommy too.
He tried to summon her though. He had the Hennessy bottle. He's like, yeah, I know black people like this. So, if I drink this, maybe she come back for it. But it didn't work out for my guy. This should have been telling for him. Poor Vic. Just he made his
fucked up shit to say. He grabbed Hennessy and said, I know black people like this.
I've been drinking all that bullshit this season, but when I get this Hennessy bottle, this gonna work. This gonna set it off for them real quick.
Yeah,
they're gonna love this.
If he's trying to get a nigga ghost to come and see him, yes, that's what the Hennessy gonna do. If he wanted Gloria to see him, he needed a bottle of Moscato. You know, black women love Riesling, and they'd be like wrestling. Give me the wrestling wine, Moscato, Stella Rosa in a multitude of flavors. If you want a black woman ghost to come back, you better get Stella Rosa in a multitude of flavors,
so
and they gonna come back.
Somebody said Glow ain't coming back for no snitch. I know that's right. So King Kilo, Big Baby, he says, word is somebody CBI killed my nephew, and I'm getting out of jail soon. That is a huge indication of things to come next season right there. But Janard lets it very clear that like D-Mac acted alone. He's talked about family comes first. We're making too much money. You know, we don't want to mess up our agreement, our deal here. He says, listen, I will deliver that nigga myself when you're on the outside and we have a deal. So Janard has definitely signed a peace treaty between the RDs and CBI if he hands over D-Mac, which is also interesting. I meant to say earlier is that Janard was very much okay with saying like we'll deliver it to him. He didn't even think twice about like you're about to hand
Tommy
over
or
Tommy's
anything,
nephew.
how that's gonna work with Tommy.
Yeah, man. So there's that. Tommy now leaving the house, calling Vic, and then somebody runs up and shoots Tommy with Miguel homie. And Tommy's out here playing fake dead, which hopefully there was no one that watched this season and thought this is the last we was going to see Tommy. If Ghost was alive, or if this was just regular power, this scene probably would have held a lot more weight and potential and suspense. But no, it's not. It's not happening. We're not losing Tommy here. If they did, that would be just the wildest thing. Because who would be the main star?
Not a random person. This ain't The Sopranos. Not fading to black with Tommy there.
Yeah. But anyway, he says, listen, so Tommy, after he, fakes a quick fake death and gets on cuz he says, listen, I'm about to meet with Che and I'm about to take all of Miguel's shit. He said, you know what? Get up, go give him a message for me. And he said, well, never mind, it's too late. And he tried to let my man run off, but ended up shooting him as well. He said, I'll tell him myself. So the feds in the raid and everybody's watching remotely and they run in and this is Claudia the Serbs and the Marquez cartel.
A huge drug bust.
Yeah.
Huge.
Funny thing is Shanti lucky she missed that invite. However, you have to remember that Shanti was aware of the plans the entire time. And it's interesting. Shanti, like, it's so coincidental. Yeah, it could be telling how calculated Shanti really is because Shanti earlier was wanting to be a part of this meeting, but there's no way she could have accounted for Merkovich saying no. Only Claudia. Because if he had invited her, this looks a lot different.
She went down too. Yeah.
She would have went down, which is just the weirdest thing about how this all kind of played out the way it did, but it is what it is. But anyway, the officer Marcus is killed. And a bunch of shootout and stuff and whatever. And we'll talk about the rest of that in a second. So anyway, Tommy and Vic, they're in the car riding. It says shit went down sideways. Plans change. Stacy calls. He says, is there something you want to tell me? And it says, yeah, you were right. Claudia did kill Liliana. So things, he says, things never turn out right for people who fuck with me. Claudia is now under arrest. So is Merkovich. And Claudia out here trying every bit of way to get from under this arrest. Says, I'll work with the detective, whatever it takes to get me out of this RICO case. She says half of the law enforcement is already on my family's payroll, and she absolutely was begging. And then she says, I have no idea what's even happening inside. You can't land a RICO on me. And then she's arrested for the conspiracy of murder. She says, wait, my brother set me up for this? And somebody from CBI was recording all this on the outside. Stacy is completely kirking because she wants to know where Tommy's at. Where's Egan?
Spider-Man.
She's fixated on Tommy.
Where's Spider-Man?
But it is, I love this because, you know, I'm glad this was said on it, because I would have said the same thing. Like, Dad, you worried about Tommy, but you just lost somebody there. And wow.
One of your people.
One of your people. So we just lost one of our own. And he says, listen, try to enjoy this win. And then she says, my standards are fucking higher than just this. So we'll come back to that in a second. So Che, we have the meeting now, and well, not the big meeting yet, but he's Tommy comes in and says, listen, we're getting shit done. Tommy is alone. He shows the video of the arrest. We've been doing Miguel's job for him. Then she said Miguel will continue to be the Estrada pipeline. With the Serps out of the picture, CBI will be the successor. Janard looking all wild, and this is just disrespectful. As Tommy tells Janard to get Che another drink, and then Janard's like, you know what? I'm cool with it. First of all, what did you think about that? Was that just weird for Tommy to like just almost disrespect my man in front of everybody? I knew he thought he was a snitch, but once he realized he wasn't, why is he still posturing at Janard like that? Is he still mad about what happened?
Tommy does not like Janard. It is very simple. Tommy does not like Janard at all, Joe. He don't trust Janard. Yeah. Because in the end, Janard did go against them.
Yeah.
And Janard tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, the point Janard is still walking around is amazing.
Yeah.
Tommy has killed people for less. So I think it's still a respect order where he's like, nigga, I'm still running this shit. And no, I don't like you. Fall in line. Yeah. And Janard is running his mouth because he's getting closer with his brother. So he's really playing the part like, nah, I'm not, it's not even a technical part. Janard ran CBI for 15 years while Diamond was in jail. Diamond come out. He done hired a new CEO to help run it. And now Janard is Bradley Beal on the Phoenix Suns. Like, he all dip shout. Like, what the fuck am I here for? Okay.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Janard out here playing bottle service at the meeting here. Like, this shit is crazy, man.
He said, give me a drink. I'd have smacked the shit out of Tommy. You said, give me a drink. Nigga, I'm not your bottle boy.
Yeah. But Diamond asks, did you take care of Vic? I sure did. They take shots. I'm setting up, and then everybody's taking shots. So he says, listen, I'm setting up a meeting between you and Miguel. As Diamond and Tommy says, this should be interesting. Also text Mora, says, pack your bags, Spain's, here we come. So Stacy and Bobby says, this is a huge win for you. And she says, it's a huge win for Egan. And then Bobby says, you should have listened to me. He says, I lost a friend. And then she blames Bobby, says, for not allowing me to arrest Tommy. Says, you're going to be a fantastic politician. At this point, Bobby's just done with her. That's just what it is. Yeah, my man Janard out here popping it with the sparkles at the park. Catch him tomorrow night, DC the park. Bottle service.
About to say stadium.
Yeah.
I know stadium ain't open no more. She's about to say stadium.
Yeah. So we get the Miguel meeting with CBI. He says, listen, CBI and the insane princess need to play nice. I expect everything to run smoothly. And Tommy asks about why you ain't bring your boy Nasi. Funny handshaking business and whatnot, but you know, they're just they're talking between the lines, letting them know that Miguel sent them. Tommy took care of them. Yep. Miguel's like, oh, okay, cool. It is what it is. Friend? Yeah.
He's the first person to call me. I said, I miss him.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting to some of the big things that's been hanging out with us in the chat tonight. We have a massive crowd with us tonight. There's almost 300 people with us. We appreciate you all hanging out with us tonight. But we're getting to the big things.
Me and my charged lemonade. Because listen,
Claudia is in jail, and Shanti's on the phone, and while Shanti lets her know, like, listen, you might want to watch your tone while you're on the phone with me. And then Claudia says, like, wait, were you on this from the start? Tommy comes in and says, I got a special gift from Liliana, but and then Claudia gets shanked. She looks hurt, but doesn't appear to be dead.
Oh, she gone.
Shall I say?
Ain't no way.
Well,
ain't no way.
Well,
Claudia is surviving that prison.
Well, we don't. Well, we'll see. We'll talk about it in 1 second. But listen, but like they're on the phone listening to her suffer, and Shanti says this. I hate to say it, but you're a real one. I hate to say this, but you're a real one, and I'm all in with you. But Tommy says we got to beef a little bit longer. And then Shanti says, "Why? That bitch is dead." But Tommy says, "I got one more piece to play." So let me break this down instead of all the events. Shanti is assuming that. I'm sorry. Shanti's assuming that Claudia is dead. It sounds like she's dead. She was suffering, but they didn't give us a very clear indication if she is.
Yep.
I asked. It's just the easy. This is just the easy thing for me. I asked Gary himself, and that interview is available, so you can see the answer to that. That's how we're going to handle that here. You all can speculate if she's dead or alive, but I don't think there's a real answer just yet because that's kind of like power cliffhanger logic. Is where
that's it. Why that shit open until we decide?
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, you can look at it and say like, "Oh, it looks really bad. She's definitely gone," or like, "Nah, she could be." But like, it's never fully declared what she is or not.
Here y'all go. Claudia got stabbed, shanked in prison. Guards should be able to get to her, and y'all like Claudia is dead. Ghost fell from the ceiling after being shot. Y'all still like he's alive.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, ain't no arguing that. Power logic.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
You can't. I'm sorry. I'm reading comments. Someone said you can live without a kidney. You damn sure can. Dialysis is a thing. Okay. Yeah. Yes, you can.
Hey, is that what the Flint organization is? Isn't it a dialysis?
Is it a dialysis?
I think it is, right?
Out of here. Oh shit. So Claudia got a hookup on the dialysis machine. So this bitch ain't got to go to treatment. She get treatment at home. Oh, Claudia's living forever, Joe. Yeah, she's living forever.
Yeah, I mean,
if she didn't kill the doctor who helped create Dahlia, she could have helped with her dialysis treatments. See, foreshadowing. You got to be careful here. You never know when you're gonna need a doctor.
Yeah, but what is the important thing here is that Shanti is under the assumption that she is dead. How is that going to be leveraged next season?
And you played your hand. So now she knows you set her up. And you thinking you sweet, but when you cross Claudia and you're in the midst of trying to fuck over Tommy, you've created two enemies at once because Tommy still don't fully trust. You're trying to gain Tommy's full trust here. But if Claudia's alive and then she go back to Tommy and be like, nah, this is what this blank it's a lot of issues that could come out of this.
Yeah. Definitely some story implications there. All right, so Tommy goes back to JP's home, and Kate is OD'd on the ground, or ODing, shall I say, on the ground, and she's asking Tommy for help, and Tommy's just looking on, and JP runs in and was like, "You're just standing there," as Tommy is shedding a tear, watching over her. Obviously, there was a really good comment earlier about that as well. Let me just go back to that comment really quick. The call back to Proctor letting Lindsay OD.
Yep.
Yeah, this also is to me, the way I saw it, and again, it's going to be what I asked Joseph tomorrow, was this him choosing Maria over his mom for the first time? Was this his way relinquish, and like I want to be very clear how I need to make sure I write this exactly, but was this his way relinquishing his control over his mom that he's had all these years? And y'all had to really look into like how him keeping her on this stuff is his way of keeping her under control. Is this his way of relinquishing his control over his mom to now move forward with his life with Maria?
And it keeps him knowing who this person is. He doesn't know clean Kate. He only knows junkie Kate. And he'll do whatever he do to get her back there.
Yeah. So, we'll have to see, because this is definitely a scene that I think we're all going to have a lot of interpretations. I think we can spend some time on this as well, but I'm just going to ask him myself. Just going to straight up ask him. So we'll see.
You know what you got to ask him more than anything else?
What?
Where did Tommy find a courier to deliver plane tickets?
Hey, what was the chances that my man Tommy was about to go to Barcelona on Spirit?
Frontier. I'm sorry, because it's people out there. Spirit is not a bad airline if you have no other option. So, not gonna dish y'all for flying Spirit, but if y'all flying Spirit anywhere other than what's the hubs? Miami, Atlanta.
For Spirit, Atlanta, Chicago, and definitely not Miami, because everybody was flying into Fort Lauderdale thinking they were going to.
You can get the Spirit in Miami. It's a $65 flight.
It must be new now, because remember before everybody, because remember everybody was flying to Fort Lauderdale thinking they were getting to Miami and then had to do that drive.
Yeah, that drive ain't no joke from Fort Lauderdale. But I mean, if you fly Spirit there, you deserve it. That's what you get.
Yeah, I like JetBlue. Go ahead and throw that out there too.
No, I'm doing Delta first class. It's not that bad.
I mean, I know the elites here, but I mean, we were talking about this other tier of like those random.
I'm sorry. I don't do random airlines.
You just vouched for Spirit, so tell us something. Tell us how you.
No, I did not. I said people fly Spirit. Okay, people fly Spirit.
You said Spirit wasn't a bad airline.
It's not for people. Spirit is a cost effect. It's like the Kia of airlines. Kia's a very sensible car, and there's nothing wrong with having a Kia. But if you had more, you wouldn't own one of them. If you had more, you wouldn't fly Spirit. But there's nothing wrong. Even though I know somebody who makes a hell of a lot of money and only flies Spirit, and I'd be so confused. They literally have Spirit first class, which I did not know Spirit had a first class.
They definitely do. Yep.
Yeah. And I said, Spirit has a first class. So is it like coach? Because like regular coach's Spirit is like hell.
Yeah, it's just bigger seats, and I've flown in those big seats. They're actually comfortable, but like, nah, I'm good. After you done upgrade everything, you might as well just go ahead and get you a legitimate flight on American or Delta or just anybody else at that point.
At one point before Frontier partnered with Sprint,
no more free promotion for these trash ass airlines.
No, I'm just saying. I think we were going somewhere, and I said, "What the fuck is Frontier?" I had never heard of them before. I said, "What is Frontier, and why are these tickets so cheap?" Yeah. And someone said, "Do you want to push the plane?" And I said, "No." They said they don't fly Frontier. It's a horse and buggy that helps the plane take off. I said, "Oh, okay."
I've never flown Frontier. But randomly though, I will say Porter that goes to Canada. I like that airline. Not a big airline. Yeah, Porter. Yeah,
Air Canada.
No, Porter.
Air Canada. Put like this. I may say some fucked up shit about Spirit. Air Canada is the worst airline in the world. Absolutely. I literally flew Air Canada to Canada and got delayed for 3 days. A flight from DC to Canada is an hour and 30 minutes. And because I did not want to wait 3 days to get delayed, I bought a first class ticket. An hour and a half flight. I paid $1,100 for a ticket for an hour and a half flight.
Go that joint Airdate. Stop giving these airlines free promotion. Anyway, Shanti and Janard, they get the car back from the Serbs.
Spirit may give us tickets somewhere. Spirit may be like, man, y'all just got the bad perception. We gonna fly y'all wherever y'all want to go. I don't know where I would go on Spirit, but hey, I mean, we got to travel somewhere soon. You want to fly me to LaGuardia? I'm all for Spirit. I'll do a commercial and all. Y'all ain't got black people doing commercials for Spirit. I got y'all.
You might as well be Clinton Portis for Eastern Motors. That's as good as that gets.
I remember those commercials with Clinton.
The Commanders gonna have to shoot all new ones since what's got traded. Anyway, no. We gotta get to the rest of this episode. The rest of this episode is Shanti and Janard get the car back from the Serbs and they kill the Serb dude. Again, I don't think this is gonna mean anything because they're just putties. That's just another random dude, no ramifications. But again, I thought this was no need to having this scene because he could have just pulled back up with the car and said, "Yeah, I got that shit back," and that's what it is. Much like he did with the chain. Didn't think we needed to see this. Could have used that time to show the people identifying DMAC or something like that earlier. So Tommy's at the hospital, realized that Maria didn't come in because he calls her. Kate's at the hospital, leaves Maria a voicemail saying that she might not make it. Gets in the room, asks how she's doing. She's okay. She almost died, and it's your fault, as JP tells her. All she ever wanted to do was tell you that she was going to be better, give them back the keys to the bar. I do not want anything to do with you. You're not my brother. Just stay the fuck away from us. Everything, and everyone you touch, you ruin. So Tommy once had it all, had family, and now it looks like he done just blew that all up. Couple of things I just really want to say to this is that Tommy called Maria, left a voicemail that his mom is in the hospital and she may not make it. Do y'all remember who is in possession of Maria's phone? Miguel. Will he utilize this information somehow next season? The next thing I would also say is Kate is not dead. He says she's doing okay. She almost died. So I think somebody asked, but she's okay. So there's that.
I'm just gonna focus on the key part.
Is this the reason why Kate goes back to New York to get away from Tommy?
I don't know. I am so confused here.
Does JP also go to New York here? Is a question.
Why the fuck is JP defending Kate so hard?
I think after they had their moment last episode where he's like, I know I forgive you for what you did.
You can't tell Tommy, leave us alone. Tommy's had to deal with her his entire life. You known her for 5 weeks.
It's right on par for JP. JP also looking for family as well too. Yeah, it's right on par. I mean, I'm not. I don't.
In turn, is this why he didn't spaz out on DMAC for what DMAC said? Because technically, DMAC has no connection to JP. And is this, in a sense, JP's way of getting a connection with his mom that he can't give with his son?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what the conversation was last week. Is we're like, when he forgave her, he says like, I understand, you know, the mistakes that I made, I forgive you for the mistakes you made. I obviously committed the same chain of events, and I think they just kind of just mended things, you know, through that. And like, yeah, you're not going to check every box about the validity of their relationship here, but at least they're trying to move in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I give them that. Like, it's two folks that don't really know each other, but obviously their blood, their family, you know, mother, son, to whatever degree or whatever title you want to kind of throw on it. But like they're operating the way where they're trying to heal and get through this, where Tommy isn't.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I see why JP's like, all right, you're being detrimental to what we're trying to do here. Get away. So
yeah.
So CBI meeting now. So CBI runs the city open bar. So this is so funny, bro.
So
this man Tommy is ruthless. He just got the keys back to this bar. and immediately goes to the bar and says, "All right, everybody, open bar."
Hey, Tommy ain't give a damn, Joe.
Bro. Like, seriously, dog. I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
hey, look here. You want a bunch of niggas to get down with your organization? Give them an open bar. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Open bar wings and calamari, because niggas love calamari now. I don't know when that transition happened, but you fry them little Jones up, people forget it's squid. Wings, calamari, and open bar, and you can rule the black community. Those are the rules. That's all you need. Don't you have 1942 on that bar or Casamigos? That's it. That's it. Black people ain't never met a Casa or Amigos they ain't love. You get them that shit, you got it. You are in. They will invite you to the cookout. Every cookout.
Yeah.
As long as you got Casamigos.
All right, we got a few more scenes ready to wrap this episode up and just talk about a couple of the big things and things to come real quick. So we got the CBI meeting at the bar that is JP's bar, but open bar for everybody. And he mentioned, listen, we got one more thing left to do. This is a conversation between Diamond and Tommy. And Diamond says, listen, I thought you was gonna push back a little bit more to Miguel, but he says, rolling, I'm slowing my roll. Much like he said, it says, how long did it take? As Diamond is asking about Vic, he says, well, how long did it take for you to dump the body? And then he says, well, they're not dumping the body because he's mentioned the other CBI members didn't show up to the joint yet. So we'll come back to that. So Vic and the CBI boys waiting for hours. Stacy calls. Stacy's kirking on Vic, talking about, you played me. And Vic is like, I had nothing to do with this.
Blaming Vic for everything.
And he says, he must have known that the bug was there the entire time. And Vic realizes that, well, he's been made, and he says, we're on the way. Stay put, Vic, we're on the way. I thought this was interesting because I did not think that Stacy would care that much about Vic in terms of his safety. I literally thought she was just going to be ruthless and says,
is it that she cares for his safety, or is it that she needs him to be safe to help her get Tommy?
I think she still would look at it in a way of casualty of like, oh, well, whoops.
But no, because if Tommy kills Vic, and then there's no witness to get Tommy, so she needs Vic alive.
That's true.
Your only purpose is to get Spider-Man.
Yeah, but see,
any other avenue with it.
My goal, my thoughts with that is like, I agree, but I feel like she's so compromised right now in wanting to get Tommy. She's not thinking rational. Bobby just exploited that. What you're saying is absolutely, which makes sense in a calculated way. But I would think she would just be like, well, if Tommy ain't there and you've been made, get out, we'll connect later. Instead of like we need everybody to come together and come get this person. Do she still value him as the top CI,
Yes, because on paper, he's a CI. If he ends up dead, that's on her head.
And then you know what? And I still think she wouldn't even care. That's
no,
the thing.
She would have to care because at this point, you've lost multiple cops. If you lose your CI after losing cops, you've lost your job. They're going to fire you on the spot.
She should be, honestly, she should be gone now from losing the cops because of the CI.
We know she should be fired, but if your CI is murdered, that's it for you.
Yeah. But anyway.
People are going to question, where did the leak come from to know that he's a CI?
Yeah. So yeah, she's going to send everybody to go get Vic. We're going to see how that plays out. So Tommy and Diamond. So Tommy makes his case about why to keep Vic. Says like, have you ever had an informant that was in with the FBI? This could be useful. We own him. Let's play this outright. I need to know. And Diamond's just completely now at this point just fed up. So I need to know everything that's what the fuck is going on. It's like you're always one step ahead. And as he mentioned, like, we just closed that deal. Don't forget about that. It wasn't just you. It's not always about you. We just closed this deal. So as we mentioned, the leaders of CBI ain't on the same page now. And yes, they closed the big deal. More money is to come in. They have solidified the spot that they wanted to. Everything that they worked towards this season, they got besides Miguel. But even with that, they still are they're the most dominant gang or organization in Chicago. But they disagree with Vic. They disagree with the handling of Vic. I quickly ask you, Do you agree with Tommy here in terms of keeping Vic for collateral or benefit? Or do you agree with Diamond where he should have been got? They should have handled him as soon as they found out he was a
It
snitch.
gives you the perception of someone who is a straightforward street guy versus someone who's attempting to see the bigger picture, because that's the difference between Tommy and Diamond here. Yeah. I'm in the streets and I'm not thinking anything else. Vic has to die immediately because, as Miguel said, if Che finds out we got a snitch on our organization, we're dead. So he's thinking immediately Vic has to die. Tommy is thinking more long game. If I let this go and Vic knows I know you're a snitch, I'm a double agent you and you're going to tell me everything I need to know. If you don't tell me, I'll kill you. But then it's like, that's why it's not necessarily who's wrong here. It's just that they're coming from two different understandings on the current situation.
Yeah.
Because Tommy's thinking big picture, Diamond's thinking immediate enforcement.
Yeah.
And those two they never correlate to one another. Yeah. And that's the problem you having right here in this scene.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a fan, obviously I want to see Shane stick around the show longer. I think he's really been blossoming as an actor. So having Vic around for longer is cool.
Always, this is gonna be fun with Vic.
It definitely will be, and it's going to be interesting to see what does Vic life look like going forward. He wants to leave town, he can't, and and
everybody knows you're a snitch.
Everybody. And what is life for a person in the Flynn organization with the Flynn prestige attached to him? And everybody knows this. What will he do? And I guess the big question is who has to look over their shoulder more, Claudia or Vic going forward now?
Vic,
because Claudia has no protection. Hey, how come there's no female Serbs?
There is no female Serbs.
There was the one. There was just the one from season 1, but after that, that was it. She got killed, and that was it.
Hey, they just like the other country. No one women taking away jobs from men. We don't need no women assassins.
Yeah. Planet Namek in Dragon Ball, but you don't watch anime, so you don't know what I'm talking about. All right.
I know Dragon Ball. I know Dragon Ball. I don't know none of the characters though. It's a dude with fiery hair. He has an orange jumpsuit. I like the black one though. I don't know his name. Pikachu. That's his name. Pikachu. He green, but he black. I know that much. That's all I know.
Piccolo.
Okay. That one right there. That's the one I like. He got a little turban. He got a little turban too, don't he?
Yeah, that's Piccolo.
There you go. He like Nick Cannon.
Called him Pikachu. All right, we got to cover the last two scenes here. So Janard and Shanti, CBI Connect is going to take us. We're going to get so much more. There's so much more for us to take. Got that? Did she say I got that white boy eating out my ass? Did she really say that, or did I just hear that wrong? Okay, cool.
No,
Shanti's
you heard that right.
Yeah. Okay. And since Miguel doesn't know,
I thought of Sukiyana when she said that. Eating his ass, eating nigga ass.
Yeah.
The first thing I said, oh man, that is reckless.
Miguel. So they send a picture to Miguel, and it says Miguel doesn't know that it was sent to us, right? Confirming. It says no, our fingerprints are nowhere near on this. Miguel's going to take Tommy out for us. So yeah, they sent the picture out. They finally deployed it. I guess they need to create some additional level of divisiveness under this agreement that Che and them have set. This ain't going to work out good for them because if Che finds out, Che's going to actually probably make Miguel look past this for the sake of the business and the money. And then it ultimately is going to go back to Shanti and them seeing that they're trying to draw a wedge. That's going to get out. It's just going to be kind of ugly for everything going forward. Yeah. Last scene is Maria calling Tommy. Well, it really wasn't Maria because it's actually Miguel as he is burning those tickets with no date.
Plane tickets. He couldn't burn it if it was on my phone as in my app. Damn it! I still got it. You could burn it in my app, but clearly you can burn them when you get physical plane tickets.
Yeah, and as he says,
Barcelona, huh, Tommy?
Yeah, you'll never see her again, and hangs up the phone. So that's it. Miguel tells Tommy he knows about Maria. He'll never see her again. And that is the end of the episode.
So, did he get so mad he killed his sister for being with Tommy?
He disappeared her, but I don't think he killed her. He disappeared her.
You think he sent her to Barcelona and just didn't tell Tommy?
Nah, because he got to keep her from contacting Tommy. So
she's clearly going to Tulum. You could disappear in Tulum. Everybody goes to Tulum. Everybody goes to Tulum. It was COVID-free for 2 years in Tulum. Everybody went to Tulum.
I don't know, but y'all can get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts about where you think happened with Maria. I actually don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he could be just keeping her hostage in the compound there. But I have the slightest idea. But I will say, her missing.
Without her, who's giving him his shot for his sugar?
That's true, but also her missing from her job is obviously going to cause an AWOL, which means that not only will her friend, not only will her ex-lover, everybody's going to be looking for her. So her missing ain't just something that could just go by quietly without it drawing a lot of attention. It also could bring the attention of Stacy Marks as well too, because she know that Tommy was messing with her. Where is she? So there's a lot of interesting possibilities with that there, so we'll have to see. We did cover a lot. I mean, listen, folks, we've been out. We've been hanging out with you all for 2 hours tonight, so I'm going to run through my announcements.
3:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
3:00 in the morning.
I'm gonna run through my announcements one more time. So again, on the channel right now, we have 2 interviews available with the director of tonight's episode, Dion Tayler. And he was the director of the finale of season 1. He's the director now of season 2 finale. And the writer of this episode, Gary Lennon, co-writer of this episode, Gary Lennon, who's also the showrunner of season 2, an interview was available with him as well. And then I mentioned, so you all got like just a little bit time left. I got like 4 minutes. Tomorrow, because the strike has been resolved. It's over. The strike is over. So that means we're back to business. Joseph Sikora.
Joe clocked and unchained the doors. We go back into the school. We can smoke a little crack, Janard in the bathroom.
Where you go with this? Joseph Sikora comes to Big Gold Belt Media tomorrow for an exclusive interview. Yes, that's Tommy Egan himself. So if you all got a question, best question will be asked to him. You want to get those questions in right now because I'm going to take a look at the comments. I'm going to take a look at the chat, take a look at super chats, and the best question will be asked to Tommy.
Hey, man.
You can check out that interview right now.
We got a good one already asked pertaining to Tommy and Kate. Like, that's a hard question to top.
Yeah. Listen, I also want to say, first of all, quick appreciation to the homie with the super sticker, Power Inspired. That's our guy right there. Sam, man, keep an eye out on your messages, man. You know, we got the finale collaboration show
we gonna
coming
see Sam
on Sunday.
Are we gonna see Sam in a couple of weeks? I'm gonna say a couple of weeks. Sam should know what we're talking about.
So I just want to also say, everybody who's been listening to our recap reviews all season, we totally appreciate you all. Y'all got one more to go for Force. That is our live show Sunday, 9 p.m., where we will be talking about the 3 biggest topics of tonight's episode, which I'm sure Maria's whereabouts, Claudia's whereabouts. Is she alive? Is she dead? Is Maria alive? Is she dead? Tommy and the tier, justice for Kate, the timeline. There's a lot of different things we could talk about. We will be covering that entire season.
Who's gonna murder D-Mac first? Tommy.
Yeah, what's the fate of D-Mac?
Yeah, King
Kilo. He's out of jail next season. We're gonna talk about predictions for next season. We have a lot to talk about. Big Baby out here getting into the acting sphere and not just the cameo. So that's something, you know what I mean? Is he our next big villain? And again, if he's not our next big villain, I love the comment of Janard versus Tommy next season. I also really anticipate wanting to see the graphics for that. That could be that could be tight. That could really be tight. So we got to see how that plays out. But yeah, we got a lot coming up. And then Raising Canaan's right around the corner. And then right after Raising Canaan, BMF season 3. So all things in the 50-verse, we got a lot going on here.
Just check everything else out there on Big Go Belt. We got rap shit currently going on at the same exact time right now. So check those out. Check out the movie reviews, because Nature reviews everything humanly possible.
I'm tired.
So trust me. Yes. So again, check everything out, man. We got plenty of content other than power. But this is the flagship. This is what you're here for. We greatly appreciate every one of y'all. One, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The point y'all are up. I know a lot of y'all off tomorrow from work. Enjoy yourselves. Get some rest. But be prepared on Sunday. Because we're going right back in again on Sunday.
That's right.
And because I just had 2 of these charged up lemonades, I'm going to be up until Sunday. I don't think I'm going to sleep anytime soon. Why the fucking wait? Sleep.
Listen,
this shit is crack. Damn it, Panera Bread.
Listen, everybody that's here right now, do us a solid and hit the like button on this video. Hopefully you are subscribed. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe, please. That way you get all the notification of all things we just discussed. We have a lot of content on the way. I cannot emphasize enough why we do recaps, we do reviews, we do discussions about shows. With the strike being resolved, interviews are about to start booming. So if you're looking for those exclusive interviews or conversations with the stars behind a lot of these shows, here's is your place to be. And as I opened up the show, leaks are weak. Stop supporting folks that are leaking these shows, spoiling the experience. It's not cool. It's not fun. It's not cute. I don't care if you want to know what's happening. Wait till the show gets released. It's detrimental to all the hard work of all these folks, these writers, directors, actors that y'all so-called swear y'all love, being all their comments, liking all their stuff, and then right behind their back leaking their work. It's not cool, folks. Just get away from it, and let's put an end to that. Because the moment one of these shows get canceled because the viewership wasn't good, oh man, I wanted for season 3, but y'all were supporting the leaks. Funny how that works. And after everything that these folks have fought for rights with the strike, we have to do our part as well too. And I can tell you right now, supporting AI and supporting leaks isn't it. On that note,
not Allen Iverson. You should always support Allen Iverson,
and not Eric Iverson, because we like him too. I know he's upset.
We don't. Right now. That's what everyone for some odd reason thinks. We was looking forward to him. Hopefully, he'll be back Sunday.
Yeah,
we can talk.
Listen, Eric. This the last comment. Eric, if you're here right now in the chat, if you're somewhere looming in the shadows, you give me a message. You'll be on that discussion on Sunday. You earned it. You've had some good work.
Those are the 2. And
now the Marcus Vaughn be asking like, who? Let me sign off for the rest of the night.
We're
done. We're done.
Immediately.
Yeah, exactly. We're done. DeMarcus is going to like, I'm gonna make sure I get this thing taken down real quick. So. Anyway, and I said taking down off YouTube. Anyway, that's it, folks. We'll see you all back on Sunday. Y'all got plenty of content to hold y'all over until then, and look for that interview with Mr. Tommy Egan tomorrow. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight, folks. I